Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I got this question quite a bit, both from my customers and from you guys, and recently and not recently, so pretty much this question has been bombarding me lately. It's not that interesting of an answer, but I guess it's unexpected, so I thought I'd just make a quick video about this. So you guys know, obviously, I sell Magic cards, sell singles, and all that. I mean, therein lies the problem. So the question is, do you sell Commander products? And the answer is no for multiple reasons. One of the major reasons, actually, is because it's kind of a local thing. It's not really something that people would put up online. I mean, it's kind of like the Planeswalker decks. Everybody knows exactly what they're going to sell for online. It's like a 25-cent profit, and why bother? If I get some in, we rip them apart because you get 2 free boosters, and the math just works out that way. We made like a really good profit each, like 2 something, I think, on them. So those are a good product. But Commander, I'm not sure what the exact rules are, and it's not like anybody complies with these rules anyway, but I at least try to. I'm not supposed to sell sealed product online of any kind, but they may have not really specified the of any kind part. I might have added that in my head. I kind of skimmed, but I would think, like, how else would you sell it? I mean, I know there's people breaking it apart and selling the singles, but it's an awfully bad time to be doing that because, I mean, you're competing with everybody in a, like, 256 card set or whatever, to sell all the singles. But in Commander, oh my god, are you competing with people? I mean, out of, like, good sellable cards is probably, what, less than 10, I would think? But I also know that if all you sell are the Commanders, and that's it, and then you keep the decks and try to use them as like a singles investment or something, or sort them or whatever, it's not great. You will not make a profit. All of the money is not in the Commanders no matter what. There's usually a hot 1 or 2, but you get 4, I think it was this time. It used to be 5. And that actually is a step in the right direction. So if I were to split these apart, though, I'd probably end up buy listing a lot of the like $1.50 on down cards. And the other thing is, I mean, it's not that hard to make a set of 4, but I have to make sure that I open up 4 decks. Oh, and that the order is divisible by 4. That would be good too. And plus, it's like a pre-made thing. You're like taking something already established and undoing it. Just like, not really morally, but I guess like logically, it doesn't seem right, even though people do want those cards and now they're being reprinted. So it's like, oh good, Commander's coming out. Now I can get that card cheaper. So people are expecting it. Like, I get it. It just seems weird, though, like you're undoing somebody's work or you're, like, taking apart a piece of art or something. I don't know. With boosters, it's random. They're supposed to be opened. That's what you do. So overall, I think it would be tough to sell, but let's just say that I either find out that I'm allowed to sell sealed Commander decks online, because that is the product, or I just ignore it like everybody else does. Well, first of all, I have to refuse to sell them locally, like I said, because I don't want to interfere with those sales at my local gaming stores, because I mean, yeah, you can get them for a reasonable price online. I mean, probably pretty damn close to the MSRP in most cases, although obviously some go up and some go down. But that's like a big money puller for them. So if they can, get them for, what is it? Well, the margin is usually 40%, we'll just say. So if they can make 40% and people are just coming in buying them like crazy, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money for them. And between standard sets, there's not much to sell. I mean, not every vendor gets FTV. So I definitely don't want to take away from the local stores. They already don't like me enough. Some of them I'm just like, here, have, 5,000 sorted commons and uncommons that I don't need. There, you happy now? Sorted, people. Sorted. By name, by card name, not by rarity. Might as well be handing them a big, like, Fort Knox brick of gold. But as far as online, okay, how would that go? All right, let's just say you want to go to eBay and pick up the Feline Ferocity, because obviously cats. So that right now, you almost can't get it for below $34.99. I think there's like 1 listing. And if I recall, I think that's the MSRP. So, okay, cool. I mean, I buy them at about a 40% discount margin, or 41 or 39 or whatever it is. I don't remember. I think it's 39. Nice even number would be 40%. So I'd pay 21 bucks and be able to sell them for 35, we'll say. Well, they weigh a very obnoxious amount, so let's just say that it's about, between the envelope and shipping, first class, they're somewhat heavy, I think. Probably $4 flat, okay. Oh, that's right, PayPal split off from eBay, which makes no sense, so now it costs me a fortune in fees. It's utterly ridiculous. So I'd pay about $5 in fees, believe it or not. So now we're at $9. And just like I suspected, that leaves exactly a $1 profit. So yes, I could be the douchebag that orders, God, God, what would be a reasonable number? 5,000 commander decks. So I order 5,000 commander decks and just sell them all and make $5,000. I guarantee I have square footage for it at my shop. I have a high volume printer. I could get them to the post office. So I could do it if I wanted to be a dick. I just realized I'd have to buy it on $105,000 in credit, so that might not work. Hey, despite my perfect credit score, it's not exactly net 30 with my distributor. So I might be able to shave off 5,000 discounts at that point, maybe add a couple cents in profit. So like, cool, I could rake in $5,000. I could use $5,000 right now, but it's like, come on, I'd have to flood it, and then I might get stuck with some, and some are more popular than the others, and you know, it's kind of annoying. And actually, if you take out the couple people, the onesie twosies selling them for like 35, a lot of the major sellers are selling them for 40. Okay, I just finally looked it up. It does have an MSRP of $34.99, so it makes sense because, I mean, these things are really tough to ship. I mean, they can get crushed. You almost got to put them in like a box, which adds about 3 or 4 ounces, and you got to keep it under 16 if you want to send it first class. Otherwise, it's bare minimum $5.75 to send priority. You're already losing $5 in eBay fees, so yeah, it gets really nasty really quick. Now here's the catch, and this is both the benefit and the problem. The cheapest copy of Vampiric Bloodlust that you can get online right now is $45. Ignore the bottom 2 and you're looking at $50. Now that is a hell of a profit margin, so that would be nice. So let's look at Dragons, which I heard that's the big one. Reasonable price for that one. Looks like it's floating in around $53 to $55. Hello. I mean, it's still like, I would pay that much for a good pre-made deck. I like to build my own decks, but still, I don't think 55's that high for 100 cards. I mean, 55 is like the top of what I would pay for like a reasonably good standard deck most of the time, so that's not bad. Oh, and hey, what do you know? Arcane Wizardry is actually going for like 40, pretty much across the board. So I guess the Cats one is the low one, which is surprising, but I don't know. The whole deck doesn't equal the Commander. Just because the Commander's better doesn't really mean anything. So there's money to be made, but at a certain point, I'm either going to have to sell the bottom, usually 2 decks at a loss, or just get stuck with them, which you want to talk about a loss. I mean, that's a $21 loss if I just get stuck with them. I mean, I'm sure somebody will buy them at some price point, so it's hard to actually get stuck, but I've had it happen where people just literally stop buying on eBay. They just won't buy it. I mean, you could have it at $20, but if nobody's running the search for the name, guess what? You don't have a customer. But this time around, let's talk about 4 versus 5, because there was, as far as I remember, always 5 decks that they would release. Now there's 4. Hopefully I'm not just remembering that incorrectly, but that helps everybody, because every time there was always 2 or 3 out of the 5 that were unpopular, and then there was the high ones. A lot of stores would go the correct route and, you know, sell them all for MSRP, and then they would just quite literally get stuck with the ones that weren't popular because people wouldn't want them. So then at a certain point, they have to discount them and hope somebody then walks in and wants it. I mean, usually not wanting it is not wanting it. I mean, there's a certain price where I'd buy the damn deck even if I hated it, but, you know. So shrinking it down to 4, I mean, it gives the customer less options, but, well, unfortunately, everybody but the customer is delighted about that. It lowers the odds that you get stuck with it, and honestly, looking at the prices, it's almost like 3 out of the 4 are popular. And I will say that some stores, right off the bat, they'll just copy TCG or eBay or whatever. Like, this one's 25, this one's 50, deal with it, it is what it is. I mean, whatever. Let's think about it. People could just walk into a store, say, I'll take 30 of them, you know, and pay $35.99, put them straight on eBay and maybe make a slight profit. I mean, hey, if they're going for 55, you kind of have something there. It's not a great margin, but it's not terrible. So, I mean, could I get into it if I really wanted? Yeah. Have they improved it to the point where I thought about it? Absolutely, because 5 sets is just too dangerous. That's what it came down to. I mean, there's a lot of positives, a lot of negatives, but it came down to 2 or 3 are not going to sell very well, and the other 2 are, and then I'm going to get stuck with them. They're going to sell slow, and I'm not really going to know if I'm going to make a profit or not. So with 4 and them designing them better and putting more expensive cards in them in the 2017 edition, I guess, yeah, I probably should have picked it up. But if you look at what I make on like a Modern Masters set or even like really good standard sets, it's so much higher than Commander. It's ridiculous. Oh, and I should probably mention something that I didn't mention at all before. You have to buy them in packs of 4. So you're like, oh, I want 36 packs. Cool. Guess what? You get 36 of each individual one. You can't say, send me just the cat one. Now, should Wizards do that? Well, obviously, yes, but like logically, no. I mean, it's just like sleeves, like card sleeves. I mean, this is what Ultra Pro does. People know that they're not going to buy the damn pink sleeves, so Ultra Pro makes less pink sleeves. Can Wizards predict which of the 4 decks are going to be more popular, print off more of it, and then have people place orders with the distributors and say, we're out of the cat deck, send us more. We're out of the wizard deck, send us more of just that. No, you got to order them evenly, which is really, really, really stupid. But I don't think that Wizards could predict it correctly. I just don't. I mean, maybe within some reason they could be like, okay, this just seems more powerful. Or maybe take like a poll of 100 people and use the stats or something. I don't know. It's really kind of hard to say. I mean, the value of the cards in it is the most obvious way. But some people just want to play with a certain commander or a certain deck. And of course, it's virtually impossible to make them all even and all equally wanted. So I made my decision pretty damn quickly for Commander 2016. And like I said, the deciding factor was mostly that there was 5 unique ones, and that's difficult to deal with. So now I'm back on the fence with the 4. So maybe next year I'll give it a shot, but I'm still leaning towards no because there's just something weird about, you know, just I have a distributor account, so I'm going to leverage it to make money by doing next to nothing. Oh boy. I just don't like the people that take a product out of one box, put it in another box, put a label on it, and say, yeah, I made money. I'm an awesome business owner. Like when I'm selling singles from, we'll say, Iconic Masters, which better show up, they're basically buying my opening and sorting service. Like that's where the margin is. I'm actually doing work. I would barely be doing work if I sold commanders. So it just seems just bad. And if I split them apart, that would be one thing, and I could look into that. I might look into the singles price and then do the average, ship price and, run some numbers and stuff. But there's no guarantee that the next commander set will be, good. Maybe some decks will just be dead. They'll have like a $10 cumulative card value. I feel like they wouldn't do that. At that point, they would just put like a fetch land in it or something. But I don't know. You never know what Wizards is going to do. So what do you guys think about the whole situation? Do you think Wizards should bother to print these separately and then print to demand, as they say, just the individual products and then ship them separately? Do you think it would be worth it? Because, I mean, you're kind of sticking your vendors and your stores with, like, bad product that they might actually lose money on. And, yeah, let me just give you the short summary. People don't like that. Vendors and stores don't like that. Like, making us buy stuff we don't want to get stuff we do want, who would be happy with that in any circumstance ever? So if they change that, I would absolutely just buy the hell out of it instantly. I wouldn't even have to think about it. That would work so much better, but I gotta say that might drive down the price because scarcity and demand inequality is what makes a deck cost $55. So something to think about, but yeah, that hopefully answers the question of why I don't sell Commander. A lot of people just asked if I do. And that's about all there is to it. I mean, it's not that complicated. So I will see you guys next video.